Hi Pisces, this is your forecast for the month of June 2017. This is a general reading for Pisces Sun, Pisces Rising, or Pisces Moon. If you have a different rising or moon sign, you might find watching those videos helpful or more informative for you. You can watch your reading in 3 different ways: the full extended monthly, or for just the energy influence, watch the brief. Or if you prefer, watch the weekly for the upcoming week. Weeklies also make it easy for you to review information you may have forgotten in the full reading. Please remember that these are general readings, and so they may not apply to everyone. If you would like a reading that is specific to you, please visit my website at thealchemistastrologer.com, and I invite you to follow me on Facebook, Google+, and Instagram. Please also check out my pay-per-view channel, vimeo.com/on-demand/finding-love for monthly love readings. So Pisces, you're starting the month of June with this really fantastic card, the 6 of Wands. And so you may be feeling some type of breakthrough, and there's an adrenaline rush following that. Maybe you were trying to do something and you've reached culmination, or there's just some victory that you feel because you reached a goal, and maybe you feel a sense of pride about it. You're getting some recognition. People are taking notice. You're in the limelight. You're making some real progress, and it feels great. And I'm happy for you. And probably part of this is centering around messengers coming to you in various forms. If you're recognizing them, it could be thoughts in your quiet time, or connections with people and conversations that you're having that shed some light. But these are revelations that are coming from various hidden sources. Perhaps, again, spirit messages, or you're having connections with other people that give you some kind of self-awareness. This is a week about victory, especially with the help of others. So this is a week of being the team player. And something at work or at home or both will allow you these unexpected opportunities where you get a chance to step into the spotlight by tapping into your own personal strengths, whatever those are. The ability to be a friend, to take the initiative if need be, to show your loyalty, to connect, to cooperate. And you're gonna naturally come in contact with people who can open some doors for you, whatever those doors are. It could be professional. It could be the doorway to a greater understanding. And so your victories this week come with the help of others. When you reach out and extend yourself, and likewise, when you are open to receive, things are going to flow very smoothly for you. Now, for some of you, maybe this is a week where you're not using this energy constructively, and there's a lack of confidence. Maybe you're questioning what you're doing, or maybe you got a little bit ahead, but it didn't last long. So for you, this could be a week where you feel some kind of sense of failure or defeat, or again, questioning self and embracing that self-doubt. Now, some of you are literally coming in contact with some form of betrayal or treachery, and naturally that would make you apprehensive. But more than likely, if you're not getting ahead, if you're not making progress, it's more than likely due to the fact that you're resistant to opening yourself up to other people, not listening to advice, not listening to suggestions that could actually make your situation better. Because you're in the spotlight, again, people are taking notice of your talents, your skill, your charms, your magnetism, And it's possible for you to exploit that charisma, to turn it on when you need it and shut it down when it doesn't serve your purpose. So you have to be careful about remaining authentic to yourself. This could also be a week where you may be hoping for something and you may get it, but it just may not be what you expect, or it may take just a little bit more time. It could be delayed. But on the whole, this is a positive week with a lot of progress and advancement as long as you're working with others. Now, the second week, you have a major card. For some of you, this is a significant connection to a Sagittarius person. But by and large, this is about doing some type of healing. And maybe you're healing through your awareness. This could be spiritual healing. But there's a focus on getting it right, finding the right balance and striking that, getting the right mix. Maybe you're involved in mediation, or perhaps you are concerned about being protected. Maybe there's a focus on restraining yourself in some way, or you're coming to recognize through working with others the differences that you have, and yet you're able to continue to deal with people in spite of those differences. So this is a week about toleration, following that middle course and keeping a balanced viewpoint. Part of that may have to do with, getting spiritual messages and knowing that this is the time to do something, to act on something. So there's a sense of proper timing about something. But it's going to be very important this week for you to be fair, for you to remain objective, to not allow any prejudice or biased thinking to get in the way of your progress. This is about not taking that extreme position, but using discretion in your decisions, in your dealings with other people, and merging with others in order to create peace and forgiveness. So being accommodating or adaptable is going to be very important this week. And also a balanced sense of expression, both speaking and, more importantly, listening, giving the other person the platform if need be. So this is a week where compromise is going to be very important. It's also about, again, that balance, doing everything in moderation. So this could be a week where you have a dialogue with another person and you make that heart-to-heart connection. You clear the air. You say some things that needed to be said, and you come to a greater understanding. Even if you're not in agreement with everything, you may have differences of opinion, and yet you continue to respect one another in spite of those. And this is a week where it's important to allow people to be themselves, for you to have that connection without them feeling as if you're imposing your judgment, your opinions upon them. So this is, that win-win situation. And if you follow that course, you will experience a transformation. There's opportunity for change here, and even embracing a new self-identity based on this new greater self-awareness. For some of you, this is about following a dream of sorts. Now, if you're not going with the flow, again, if last week you were experiencing some type of crisis in your confidence, then you're going to continue on the path that you are, even if it's not right for you. You're going to make up an excuse. You're going to do a mind job on yourself and convince yourself that you're doing something not only for the sake of you, but you're doing it because it's necessary for other people. And that may not be true. If you're in a negative situation or a negative relationship, then that's just what it is, pure and simple. And you may be using that as a crutch or an excuse for not really truly living up to your potential. You may be taking something about yourself for granted. And for you, this is going to be a week where, again, there could be a focus on healing. It may be difficult for you to relax. Things may be happening with you body-wise or health-wise that you don't understand. And so, again, it's important to find that balance. This could be a week where that awareness comes to you through your dreams. Your spirit guides may be sending you messages through your dreams, so pay attention. This is also going to be a week where it may be a little bit difficult to focus. You could be more distracted than normal. And it's important for you to tap into your intuition and recognize that for what it is, rather than just an impulse that's driving you. If not, this could be a week of excess where you're doing things and pushing the limits, pushing boundaries, and saying things that are inappropriate, going too far in your speech or your behavior. There could be some extravagance. Maybe you're paying too much for something, spending too much money, or spending too much emotionally. Whatever it is, there's the possibility for misjudgment if you're not careful. So there could be a need for change. This is all about, in the negative, extremism, excess in any way, refusing to compromise or overreacting, overdoing something, being obsessed or impatient in any way. And so there's a lack of restraint or poor judgment. So be careful of trying to push too hard and forcing a situation. This is about finding that balance between your mind and your emotions. Now, the third week, you have this struggle going on, and maybe you still may be trying to find the right mix. Maybe you're in, some minor confrontations with others, or everybody's got an opinion. This is almost like head noise, where everybody's got something to say, and yet ultimately none of it matters because there's no progress happening. Now, for some of you, this is going to be a week of unrest, disagreements, unease. There's an internal battle going on where you're trying to strike that balance. There could be some kind of disruptive force this week where you feel you need to defend yourself, or you're challenged in some way, or maybe you're in competition or some kind of power struggle. And again, it's going to be very important that you compromise, that you work with others, because again, that's where your success lies, knowing when to give and take. So there could be some unexpected situations that crop up for you where you begin to question your own motivation, your goals, your objectives, what you're doing, as well as that of others around you. How sincere are they? Now, ultimately, the Temperance card from last week can be a very strong healing force, and it may inspire you to step up to the plate, to be more, to do more, even if that wasn't your original intention. And this is a week to call upon Temperance to practice some measure of restraint. Somebody may get you going, they may get your goat, and yet you manage to have mastery over self. You're not, regardless of how they may upset you, if they're hitting on a nerve, whatever it is, you will resist that temptation to overstep that personal emotional boundary. Now, some of you, if you can't get it right, there could be issues of not being compatible. It could be that either you or somebody else is really making a situation more difficult than it has to be. And maybe there's never resolution because you're not getting to the root of what the real problem is. Somebody is saying that, oh, I'm angry because of this. But that's just a facade for what the real issue is. So there's an excuse being used to start or create a conflict without really addressing where the conflict truly lies. For others of you, the inner turmoil is making it difficult for you to make up your mind about something. So if you can reconcile with yourself, it means that you can make peace with other people. This could be a week where you're coming together with others and being a team player, and you're working on compromise in order to solve some type of problem. For some of you, the struggle is that as soon as you address one issue, another one shows up at your doorstep. So you're confronting things one after the other, and some things are better left to simply perhaps walking away. And if you are intent on, pushing your agenda, or, solving something which literally is a dead issue or a no-win situation, obviously you're not going to be able to relax, nor will you be making any progress. So this could be a week where you're struggling with the shadow part of yourself or another person. There could be some hidden aspects either to you or to a situation, or you may be struggling with your own fears, or you may be operating under some type of an illusion. And this could be a week where you recognize that you need to bring more balance into your life, and you start by acknowledging your fears, facing those things, which leads to the last week, this Hermit card. This is a major card, very karmic, and because we're ending on a major, it's likely that you're not driving the situation. It's beyond your control on some level. So this could be a week where you're getting some advice. Now, this could be through other people. Maybe you're giving advice or you're receiving it, but this is largely about going within. Now, maybe you're getting some information that allows you to solve a problem and to compromise and end up with a victory in some way. Or perhaps you are struggling to compromise, and maybe because you're having some doubts about who you're connected to or what you're doing. But this week, you may be spending some time alone. You may be doing some research about something. You may be in some kind of educational situation or setting. But this is a week that requires patience and, again, listening. So maybe you're preparing for something. Maybe you are isolating yourself voluntarily, but you're acting on situations with caution. You're going within to come up with an answer. Maybe you just need some psychological space. Maybe you need to get back in contact with the source. But you are discovering something about yourself, and maybe by keeping to yourself. So there's some quiet reflection, some self-examination, and you may be doing some type of reassessment. Now, maybe you are struggling with some information you've discovered, or maybe you're struggling with your health. Maybe you're struggling with age. Maybe you're struggling with being alone. Whatever it is, you're going to have the opportunity to attend to self, to attend to your own mental health, maybe to atone for something. And so this week, there could be, in spite of whatever happens, this sense of abundance. Maybe you're getting abundant information. Maybe you're gaining abundant wisdom. But you could be reaping the fruits of your efforts. Maybe you're connecting again to source. There's a sense of gratitude about what you're learning. And so you have this opportunity to wrap up some loose ends, to address some things that maybe up until this point you haven't been willing to face or to deal with. Not only that, in working with others, in questioning those around you, you may be coming to terms with who people really are. You're looking at what they're telling you versus what they're actually doing. And does that meet up? Does it make sense? So for some of you, this is going to be a week where it's very important that you are in observance mode. And in fact, you're going to feel more objective, more removed from a situation than normal, and you're going to allow yourself to not let your emotions override those thoughts. You're taking this very intellectual, analytical approach to life and seeing things for what they are. Now, for some of you, you're going to be pushing some buttons. You're going to invite a confrontation of some sort. But the point of it is to gain some awareness, because ultimately you're more than likely not going to win that battle, because this is karma working to help you gain some understanding and awareness, especially if you're dealing with a stressful or crisis situation. This is about listening and learning and using your common sense. While it's important to be a team player, it's also important to understand those around you and to not rely on others to show up or keep their word if they're giving you clues and signals that that's not really who they are. And this is going to allow you to rely on you and make better choices and decisions that work for you. The quicker that you see the truth of a situation, yourself or another person, the quicker you're going to realign your goals and move forward. Some of you, you are communicating, and yet it's like being on the fringe, but not really being in the mix. You're keeping your distance. Maybe you're waiting for something to happen. Maybe you're observing something before you do the next thing. The only thing is, this could be a week where you're completely focused. Maybe you're focused on solving that problem, or you're focused on some type of struggle, or you're caught up in the mix, the fracas that's going on. And that intense focus leaves you vulnerable to letting something else fall through the cracks in another aspect of your life. So again, this is about that temperance card and finding the right mix. You're going to have to spread your attention evenly across your life. In the negative, again, this is about being irresponsible, refusing to see the truth, or being too paranoid or distant or isolated, too self-reliant. Because the truth of the matter is, we're all here to support one another. And sometimes that's going to mean being vulnerable to other people. And it's easy to see that as a negative when, in fact, in a weird kind of way, it's actually a strength. So this is going to be a week that's going to help you keep your goals and your conscience working in alignment to help you make some sound choices and decisions by being objective rather than allowing your emotions to get out of hand. Now, the underlying energy is this World card. So now you have 3 major cards. So this is going to be an especially significant or emotionally significant month for you. Spiritually, emotionally. And there's something in your life that is wrapping up. This is the last of the major cards. You are reaching some conclusion. There's the end of a phase to something that's going to allow you a doorway for a brand new beginning. So hopefully this is going to be a month where you feel some triumph. You're reaching your goal. There's a job well done. There could be a focus on your physical and emotional health. Maybe some of you are traveling. You're making some changes that may have to do with your job or your residence, or just expanding your horizons in some way, whether that's actually physical or it's in a metaphorical sense. But this is about being on top of the world and feeling that joy. Maybe, either way, being on top of the world or feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders. This is about, traveling. Maybe some of you are traveling the world, or you're involved in world affairs. You're connecting with people at a distance. Some of you are dealing with foreigners or people that are of a vastly different background than you, which will make it necessary for you to have to compromise, to release your prejudices, your biases, your outlook, and open yourself up to new possibilities, given new information and new awareness of self. For some of you, this is about no limitations, but just as much knowing what is beyond your own personal limitation and having the ability to say no to that, to compromise or not compromise yourself. So in the negative, you won't be completing this cycle. You're stuck. There's some unfinished business, or you're getting some delayed success. There's the failure to complete a cycle and the frustration that goes with it. Because some of you are just not attending to those loose ends. There's a fear of change that's leaving you stuck in a rut. You're not finishing what you start, or you're quitting too soon, or something about the future is making you resistant to that change. Or maybe you're not even getting what you want out of your effort. For some of you, there's still a bit of road to go. But in the positive, you're making a fresh start. This is a second chance. And again, this could be releasing some bad habits. It could be deciding you're going to take better care of yourself. You're going to honor your body. You're going to honor your connections. You're going to improve yourself in some way. You're going to move in a different direction. You're going to release things that don't make you feel joyous, that drain you. So this is going to be a great month for starting over, from your attitude to your physical self to anything that gives you a sense of fulfillment. And the best way to do that is to let go of anger, frustration, and holding on to things, blame. So this is a month for you of forgiveness. It's clearing that slate so you get to make a fresh start and create the outcome, the happy ending that you're hoping for. And it's going to take your initiative to do that. So for some of you, this is going to be a great month where you're going to have some opportunities that arrive at your doorstep, some fortunate connections, either in business or socially or romantically or all three. And because you're feeling that adrenaline rush and that validation that you're on the right path, it's going to be very easy for you to move forward and maintain that resolution, that desire, because you want to enjoy life. And the more confident you are, the more loving you are of self, then the easier it's going to be for you to move forward. And people are going to come your way because they're going to feel that aura. And even challenging people, difficult people, you're going to have the ability to influence those people and make a difference for yourself in a peaceful manner. And remember, again, compromise is key. So just by being you, you make some really fantastic things happen for you. Now, for some of you, again, if you're not in the right frame of mind, you're stuck in a rut, you can't move forward. You may be saying some things, but your actions are not aligning with that. So while you're observing others, this is also about observing self too. If you are walking your talk, so if you want to move in a better direction, and but you don't have the right reason, you don't have the right motivation, it's not rooted in real intention, then no matter how much effort you put in, it's not going to come to fruition, and you're just going to end up stuck in the same old loop, the same old rut. This is also about limitations and knowing what they are. And with that, paired with that temperance card, it's another warning to not overextend yourself, whether that's your financial budget or emotional boundaries. This is about knowing your place and driving in your own lane. So this is not a month to try to get clever and cut corners or go through the back door or climb through the window and create situations where you make people feel uncomfortable, where they're looking at you, and questioning what your motives are. This is a month, though, about being enthusiastic, about not reaching too far, but not reaching, not being too limited in your expectations either. But this is about setting realistic goals, and that's likely to come about through kindred spirits, people who are of like mind with you, connecting to those people and connecting in an authentic and heartfelt way. So this is going to be a month about friendship, working with others, collaborative efforts, partnerships, and a sense of celebration when all of you cross the finish line. For others of you, there's a recognition that you've been struggling, that you've been alone too long, that you've been isolating yourself. And there's a need for more joy, for more lightness, playfulness, and socializing. Now, this is going to be a month again where you are coming to some greater understanding. You're getting to know who you really are. You're getting to the core of things, and your worldview is changing, especially if you are meeting situations head on. If you're dealing with issues that you've been grappling with and putting off and shutting off to, this is the time for you to get real. And it's also going to connect to your mindset. How well do you remain rational in the face of a situation without letting your emotions or your biases taint the environment? This is about remaining rational in spite of what's coming at you and what's happening around you. So you are doing some type of a review. There's a doorway of opportunity that's opening up for you to walk through, and you can do that with confidence if you're being practical and realistic and objective, or you can be hesitant. You can have doubt, and you can allow that to put you in a situation where another person has the upper hand because they sense that you're lacking that confidence. This is going to be a situation where there's probably a lot going on around you. Change is coming into your life, and likely due to other people. So how you deal with that is going to be very important. This is going to be a month for you where there's some sense of intensity to it. You may feel as if your back is against the wall, and you're going to need to pull all of your reserves of inner strength to get out of a situation. And you have the capability to do that, or you can allow the situation to overtake you. This can be a very destructive month where there's a sense that something is out of control and all-consuming. Whatever it is, this is going to be an extremely powerful period. It's a promising and dramatic environment where some swift change is going to come through and maybe, take your breath away. It's a month full of passion, things that are coming at you out of nowhere. And this can be welcome or not, depending on what your stance is. But there is a call to action that needs to align with practical realism. So there's movement, there's action, and there's forward movement if you're acting responsible. This is about staying the course to move toward furthering your own goals. All right, Pisces, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Let me know with your comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a great month, and I look forward to speaking with you next month.